Thank you. I'm Kristin. I'm with the Chief Sustainability Office for the County of Los Angeles. We're a new office. We're happy to be working with Bureau Happold, Lenny from Global Green, Michelle from Liberty Hill. I'm not going to talk about that because it's a really cool project, and if we're doing our job well, we'll reach out to you later. So we talk about something else, what I used to work on. I actually brought some show and tell to have you come talk to me later. It's a really cool thing, but I'll reference it at the end. So getting started here, I want you all to look at these two photos. The one over here on the furthest right, that's the passage of AB 32, California's biggest, in my opinion, biggest achievement, leading the way on climate change. 10 years later, in Los Angeles, this is the signing of SB 32, extending our climate goals out to 2030. So let's just look at these two photos. What's the difference? One is in San Francisco, one's in Los Angeles, one's like around the corner from here. One's Governor Schwarzenegger, one is Governor Brown. One is what I call a happy white people photo, and one is mostly people of color, actually mostly men of color. Oh, I'm not going to talk about the men aspect of that today. I can go on for that another day. But this is what happened that day. It was the signing of this is AB 32, this is the bill. But I'm going to talk about, I think the most complicated part, and the part that I'm most passionate about on climate policy, is this piece that's about how do we reduce the number of miles we all need to travel every day, because how much we drive every day is directly related to our greenhouse gas emissions. So there's this organization called Climate Plan. I used to work with them a lot in my previous role, and they thought really deeply about how do we do sustainable communities, how do we write sustainable communities plans as regions, which is what I used to work on when I was at the Air Resources Board. And the Air Resources Board was basically tasked in both of those photos with figuring out how do we achieve these ambitious climate goals that we've set as California, as an example, literally for the world. So here in Los Angeles, we passed Measure R, and it was like, great, we're going to do a subway to the sea, excellent. And then Climate Plan was thinking a little bit more deeply about it. How do we include equity and include the mobility needs of the people who don't necessarily have the luxury of driving every day because their economic situation has limited their mobility. So I think that there's a lot of deep thinking to be thought about, not just from a climate perspective, which is really important, that's my jam, but thinking about all these other benefits when we switch to not having to drive every day or not building our environments around an auto-oriented place. So the photo on the farthest right over here, or your left, is actually a photo of the Climate Plan organization, which is now led by Chanel Fletcher. She's a really excellent woman. You should get to know her. You should sign up for their emails. She's a Black woman. That is not how Climate Plan started. So I think that that photo that we thought about at the beginning has really reflected the climate conversation of being more inclusive, thinking about equity from the forefront, and creating an environment that we all can thrive in, and we don't need to, that climate piece we can handle. That's technically possible, but the harder part is who is involved and who is empowered by these processes. So you can come talk to me about the sustainability plan, or any of the other people have mentioned it later, but I wanted to leave you with that piece about sort of the most complicated part to me about climate policy here in California. Thank you.